Alright, let's do it. And then staff sweep. And this another extra AoE. See, oh, most of them died. Good morning, NFTs, Julian, and welcome back to the Valar Online. Sorry, I laugh because the creatures around me. Why is there's a frog in this building? I heard a frog. Hold up. Sorry, I'm getting distracted already. There's a dog. Wait, is it a frog? Where's the frog? Oh, there it is. Oh, that's cute. I never realized there's a frog in here. I think I'd always heard the frog, but I never bothered to look. I don't know, maybe. Or yeah, I just never noticed. I never really realized. Or maybe I just forgot it. There's the dog, there's the raven. It's a lore master trainer. Excuse me, I'm the lore master trainer today. Thank you very much. Sorry, that was a very distracted beginning. But yeah, my good morning, the NFT Sir William. Welcome back to the Lord of the Rings Online. Hello, Fox. What does the fox? I'm so distracted. And we're gonna be covering not this building and not what we're getting distracted by, but the actual Red Lord Master spec. And yeah, this is a long time coming because I was supposed to do this months ago, but I got busy and stuff, and I also procrastinated, and so it's only coming now. But yeah, alright, so the Red Lord Master, as you already know, is a damage focused spec. The blue line, this has been the case since U41 last year in August, I think, early August, or was it very late May? I don't know, it was either May 31 or August 1st or something like that. And it released alongside the legendary servers Mordor and Angmar. Yeah. And ever since then, I think Red Lord Master had become the most popular class. I mean, Red Line in most classes is usually the most popular spec because it's it's usually the damage spec. Maybe not usually, maybe in all of them it is the damage spec. But yeah, it's really astoundingly significantly more popular now than yellow in raids as well, because yellow used to be what you want lore masters to be in raids. Now it's here I don't really do raids. I don't have endgame level endgame ready characters, unfortunately. But yeah, it used to be yellow because the lore master was always the debuffer support class with CC components, and but now, because red got powerful since the rework, red is currently, as far as I know, one of the best, if not the best, damage dealing spec. But no, that's probably not true. I've seen higher parses than Red Lord Master. At least the last time I checked the parse. The parse comparison image that I saw somewhere. So yeah, this is now a proper, I say now, but it's been months, several months. But yeah, this is the damage focus spec. This is damage, not damage. This is blue is offensive support, and yellow is defensive support, essentially. So yeah, blue is focused on buffing, red is focused on damage, as I said, and yellow is focused on debuffing and stuff. Essentially, not in the entire sense of the specs, but like that's just a very brief uh, description of the differences of the specs, I suppose. My mouse button keeps on getting held down. I'm sorry about the sudden rotations of the camera. Uh, but yeah, so let's cover virtues real quick, and my lore master as well real quick. He's still level 80. I keep him level locked until I finally get the time to do some quest progression and reach actual level 80 landscape content. But until then, I'm keeping him. There's something wrong with my mouse recently. Yeah, what? I'm just resting my finger on the mouse button. It keeps moving around. But yeah, until I get this guy to level 80 to a level 80 landscape or region or zone, he remains level locked. That's why he's still level 80. Since if you've seen the blue lore master guide thingy video that I did, he was level 80 back then. I'd since progressed a few more virtues, I think. Not that much though, because I got busy. But yeah, these are essentially the same. I pretty much use the same virtues across the specs. So yeah, wisdom and honesty for the will, tactical mastery. This has honesty has critical rating, wisdom has finesse rating, wit has a lot of finesse rating and critical rating, as well as some tactical mastery rating. The physical mastery rating is wasted on tactical damage based, or tactical mastery based classes like the lore master. That also includes the minstrel and the rune keeper. As far as I know, those are the tactical mastery classes. Yeah, because all the other classes I believe are physical based. Correct me if I'm wrong. Alright, confidence is a good all-around virtue regardless of class and spec. Maybe unless you're doing tanking, you'd probably want more, because like critical rating benefits damage and healing, and tanks don't really prioritize damage or healing. Maybe some self-healing, but I don't know, maybe it depends. It's gonna depend on the virtues, because there are also a lot of defensive oriented virtues. So like loyalty is one. Justice seems good. It's in combat moral regen that can be helpful. Fidelity is also a defensive virtue. Innocence is also a defensive virtue. Wait, hold up. Oh, innocence doesn't have vitality, but it has resistance rating. Okay. So yeah, like defensive virtues like these, you can probably take instead if you want more defense. But like honestly, as a lore master, confidence is probably essential. So like if you're gonna change one of these virtues, it's probably gonna be the defensive virtue of your choice. If you really need the defense, maybe take two defensive virtues, but in general you're gonna mostly want the will, tactical mastery rating, finesse rating, and critical rating. That's gonna be your go-to. And the defensive virtues are gonna be more or less optional. But at least in my experience, it's good to always at least have one defensive virtue as a light armored class. So yeah, those are my virtues. Let's go to the spec itself. I'm not gonna cover these individually. You can read them as you'd like in game. And build wise, I've seen other builds. This is just what I like to go with. I like having the spread and tier up guaranteed for Gust of Wind. That's why I have these max, and I sacrifice a point here so that I could spend that point to as a level 80 because of the amount of points I have available, so that I could spend the point on Shield of Knowledge or something else, alternatively like Bane Flare. But I haven't really I don't really use Bane Flare much in red and even in blue these days, but in yellow I use it a lot. At least that's the case. That's in my case. That's a level 80. Like with more points, you can definitely have the points. You definitely have enough, or as a higher level, in higher levels, you will definitely have enough points to spend on at least level 1 Bane Flare, because this is a good save skill. And yeah, so alright, first set bonus trait. I'm not gonna cover all the set bonus traits because at least some of them are straightforward. This one is Wizard's Fire specific. But yeah, the first one I think I'd cover as well, or I'd actually cover, because it's it influences your rotation. So as mentioned in the tooltip of improved ignition, burning embers is a crucial part. It's an essential skill as a red lore master. Even in other specs, this is pretty essential because of the tactical and physical medication debuffs that it applies on your affected targets. So this is good to use early in the fights, or when your opponents could use to die faster. Or if they, they still have a lot of morale, or still or are still, not dying fast enough. I don't know. But yeah, Burning Embers is a core skill as a lore master. You already knew that. And so Burning Embers, or not Burning Embers, Improved Ignition, what it does when you get to this first set bonus trait, which would require having spent 5 points in red. That's I think that's how the math works. In each spec, you need to spend 5 points in the first row of that spec, and then you proceed to unlock the first set bonus trait. So yeah, Improved Ignition. This used to be the consuming of burning embers for bonus damage aspect. That used to be a universal lore master effect or benefit, but it's now specifically in red. So as I was saying, with Improved Ignition, lightning skills now have the ability to consume burning embers for bonus damage. So what you do essentially is you cast burning embers, and then you cast a lightning skill like that, and it would have been more visually convincing if I hit a devastating. I did hit it. No, that was from earlier. Hold up. No, I didn't land a devastating hit on the dummy. But yeah, Burning Embers and then Lightning Strike. We'll do it one more time because I want to point out the tooltips here at the bottom. So yeah, burning embers. Oh shoot! Sorry, the training dummies reset, by the way. So that's why. All right, smoldering embers. This is where the tooltip go. I'm trying to detach the tooltip. It's not detaching. Sorry. But as you saw there, smoldering embers is the burning embers debuff. It starts as smoldering embers and then it tiers up. So, oh wait, whoops. You know what? Let's just do whatever. We just need to tier it up. So yeah. All right. So it goes from smoldering embers to burning embers into searing embers. Does it go higher? No, it's just 3 tiers now. So there are 3 tiers of burning embers, and the cashing out of burning embers with lightning skills, as it says here at the bottom of the improved ignition tooltip. It deals more bonus damage the higher the tier. So that's part of why, or essentially why, me doing burning embers and this straight up lightning strike doesn't look that impressive. But if I do burning embers and then tier it up, and yeah, tier it up to searing embers. Ah, dang it, hold up. I need to do that again because the training dummy reset. Alright, burning embers, tier it up, and then lightning. There you go. That was a significant increase in bonus damage. So yeah, that's improved ignition essentially. You can also start with sticky gourd because sticky gourd applies burning embers in an AoE. It doesn't say here. It should. Just to be clear, you know, you can never have too much information in tooltips. I feel like. Not necessarily true. As long as it fits the screen, it's never too much information. But sticky gourd is essentially an AoE burning embers, and then you can cash that out. You can cash burning embers out with lightning skills, like I said. So lightning strike is 1, lightning charge staff strike is 1 if you've already earned this trait. Storm and staff in the second row. Lightning charge staff strike begins as a normal staff strike, which deals frost damage, but with this trait you start to accumulate charges around every 15 seconds, as it says there. It starts to accumulate lightning charges and turns staff strike into lightning charge staff strike, which also increases its range because normal staff strike is more definitely melee range, while this is a bit more ranged. At least 15 meters is the range. It's lightning strike is definitely farther, but if you're in melee range and you've got the charges, you can do lightning charge staff strike, or if not necessarily melee range, but like closer range. So yeah, lightning charge staff strike. Speaking of charges, this is a tangent, quick tangent, but lightning storm helps your lightning charge staff strike regain charges. In my experience though, unless you really the type to spam lightning charge staff strike, which is, it's very spammable. The cooldown is 3 seconds, and the regeneration of the lightning charges is every 15 seconds, so you can definitely run out of charges, and then lightning charge staff strike will revert to normal staff strike, which deals frost damage, which means that it won't interact with burning embers in the sense of or in the case of improved ignition. But This is a whole other tangent. It boosts normal staff strike can still interact with burning embers with Master of Elements trait. We're covering this next. Because frost damage skills have an effect if used after fire damage skills, like burning embers. So yeah, we'll get to that later. But yeah, back to Lightning Storm real quick. The original tangent we were on. Lightning Storm will help. This is on a 1 minute cooldown though, so don't rely on this probably to regenerate your staff strike. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if, where is it? There it is. I'm not sure if it recharges the lightning charge staff strike fully. Like the max is 3 charges, as you can see here. I don't know if I'll see if I can. Oh wait, I can do that now. Hold up. All right, let's do staff strike. I'm waiting for the cooldown. You can the charges can be also seen, like it's visually represented on your staff. Like those are the lightning orbs that you see on your staff. See, now it's down to a normal staff strike because I'm out of charges. Alright, so now, while I'm out of charges, hold on, I'm trying to consume all charges and then let me do, dang it, not sticky gourd. Okay, lightning charge. Okay, so lightning storm does charge it all the way up to the maximum amount. Alright, so as you saw there, that was probably out of muscle memory because sticky gourd is plus lightning storm is a solid combo, in my opinion. So yeah, like I said, sticky gourd is AoE, lightning storm is AoE, so you're essentially cashing out the burning embers from all the affected targets because of sticky gourd. But what you can do, what's probably better to do, I need a better angle because the candelabra is the candelabra. How do you pronounce that? I don't know. Is it? Do you just? Maybe I can just call it chandelier. No. It's a candle. It's a candelabra. Maybe my original pronunciation was better. Candelabra. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying too hard. I sound pretentious. But yeah. So what you can do? Sorry, that was a tangent. What you can do, because like previously covered, in improved ignition in higher tiers of burning embers, or with higher tiers of burning embers, cashing it out with lightning skill when you have higher tiers is better than just straight up doing for example sticky gourd and then directly doing lightning storm. That's essentially what we were doing with burning embers plus lightning strike, but only single target in that sense. For AoE purposes, as you saw earlier with how I was trying to tier up, I mean, even just recasting burning embers can tier up, I think. Yeah, hold up, let me confirm that. Okay, so burning embers, yeah, there you go. It does tier it tiers itself up. But yeah, but that single target is a thing. AoE wise, you can do either burning embers or make if sticky gourd is available, do sticky gourd, do gust of wind, and then do lightning storm. Oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. Hold on, let me. Oh wait, I don't need to move this out of the way, I suppose. Now I need to wait for the cooldowns to end. Oh wait, I can do this, but like this also has a long cooldown. Side tangent, call to the Valar, reset Sticky Gore, Dining Storm, and Ents Go To War. But yeah, this is essentially what you can do: Sticky Gourd, Gust of Wind for a quick tier up, and then Lightning Storm. Yeah. Technically though, Gust of Wind will only tier it up once, the Burning Embers effect. So like that's not the maximum you can do, but like you don't have another option that's AoE that would still be off cooldown, because the Gust of Wind has a 10-second cooldown and then Sticky Gourd has a 30-second cooldown. So like even if you do Sticky Gourd and Gust of Wind, it's still like both of them would even after all the animation, they would both still be in on cooldown. So yeah, like if you want the maximum tier real quick, you can do, but only for for a single target. You can do Gust of Wind and then Wizard's Fire, and then do Lightning Storm. Oh yeah, I forgot to or I didn't forget because I'm gonna cover it later. But as you saw there, the Burning Embers wasn't consumed, but it's still dealt the bonus damage due to improved ignition. Hold on, let me check real quick if it's reflected in the combat chat. The cash out from, wait, hold on, where's Lightning Storm? Oh, there it is. Devastating it with Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm. I don't know if it says here. Hold up, let's check real quick with Burning Embers and Lightning Strike. Smoldering Embers on. Yeah, it doesn't say. It doesn't say it separately. If the it doesn't display the damage output from the cash out separately in combat chat, so yeah, it's unfortunate for this demonstration that we're doing currently. Well, so Burning Embers, the actual effect won't get removed by a lightning skill like Lightning Storm, or yeah, any of these lightning skills. If you lock the effect with Wizard's Fire, but that only becomes available when you've maxed the spec, essentially, or the set bonus trait. This will happen. This would happen at more or less level 50 to 60, maybe 50 to 55. It doesn't. I'm pretty sure by 60 you're way past. You're a bit past there's been some time already since you reached or unlocked your last set bonus trait. But yeah, this is what you were seeing if you were paying attention. And I'm not blaming you if you missed it, because I didn't point it out specifically. That were, I mean, I've been pointing out or pointing at the status effects under the training dummies for a while now. So if you've not been paying attention, maybe it is actually partially your fault. I'm teasing. But yeah, so Burning Embers. If you do this normally with Burning Embers, does it? No, it doesn't tier up over time. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, Burning Embers, and then Lightning Strike. As you notice there, the actual damage status effect from Burning Embers, because this other one is the slow, or not the slow, the it's called slow burn. It's the offensive debuff, but the actual damage over time status effect. Oh shoot! Hold up. Sorry, the dummy keeps resetting. Burning Embers, Lightning Strike. The damage over time effect from Burning Embers specifically. These remaining ones are from Lightning, which is from. I forgot where that's from, but like there's it's said somewhere. It talks about the lightning. Oh wait, is it here? Question mark. No, it's here. Oh wait, this one. There you go. This is the lightning damage over time status effect that you were seeing, but the actual Burning Embers damage over time effect was getting removed by the lightning skill, as you saw there. But if you do Burning Embers and then Wizard's Fire and then the oh shoot, dummy, stop resetting. my timing is off. All right, Burning Embers, Wizard's Fire, and then a lightning skill. Stop auto attacking. Sorry. All right, let me start that over. Burning Embers, Wizard's Fire, lightning skill. See the damage over time effect from Burning Embers specifically was still there, alongside the damage over time effect from Fierce Lightning, which is from this trait. So yeah. Oh no, I I pressed escape. Now all the tooltips are gone. But I mean, they've been on the screen for a while now. So yeah, Burning Embers, Wizard's Fire if you've got that trait already, or set bonus trait. That's Flame of Anor, which is the last in the tree, and then lightning skill like Lightning Charge, Slash Strike, for example. So Burning Embers or Sticky Cord, but Wizard's Fire is not AoE, so Wizard's Fire is only gonna lock the Burning Embers effect on one of your targets. But yeah, Burning Embers or Sticky Cord, lock one of the effects, lock one of the Burning Embers effects with Wizard's Fire, and then do Lightning Strike. And what's helpful as well with Flame of Anor is it makes Wizard's Fire also tier up your Burning Embers, which I'd already done earlier, but I didn't point out. So like, yeah, if you remember several minutes ago at this point, I was doing Burning Embers, Wizard's Fire, Gust of Wind to tier up the also, fun fact, Gust of Wind spreads. Hold on, the dummies reset again. But we're all over the place at this point, but it keeps on being relevant. But with which is it? Oh wait, okay. So that doesn't come into play until you have this, apparently. Apparently. That's fine though, it's still relevant, but like you'd have to take this straight, and if you wanna go for that Burning Embers tier up playstyle, I suppose. But yeah, so what we were doing earlier was we were spreading Burning Embers with Gust of Wind, which is only that's only a thing if you unlock this trait. And if you've shopped around for builds, you might have seen some builds that don't have this, or only take at least one rank of this trait, or not at all. as well as this one. Oh wait, this one is the spread. This one is the tier for burning embers. So yeah, because it really depends on the content, and so if for example, if the instance or raid or whatever instance content or group content that you're engaging with, if the fights are mostly small groups or maybe just against one boss, for example, you're not gonna benefit at all from having Mighty Wind unlocked. I mean, you can still benefit from Ancient Fire for the tier up, but Mighty Wind, you've probably seen a lot of builds that don't have this. Maybe. Honestly, I'm not sure what the current situation with group content is. Maybe the current content has a lot of swarms of mobs that and in that case you'd benefit from having the spread from Gust of Wind, perhaps, if it's necessary, or you know, like, it still really depends. So like, you could cross straight or spend the points elsewhere instead. But anyway, as I was saying, where was I? So yeah, Burning Embers is essentially what we've covered. Improved ignition, storm and staff, lightning storm I don't need to bring up in particular, but Fierce Lightning for the DPS that you were seeing earlier, the lightning DOT effect, and wait, this is also another thing, but not yet something we've covered. Yeah, Flame of Anor. Wait, there's something else. Give me a second. Hold up. Whoa. Oh wait, I'm pressing the wrong button. I was like, I'm trying to hide the panel temporarily, but yeah, essentially these are essentially what we've covered. Dry Kindling for the tier ups as well. Ancient Fire, Ancient, or not Ancient Wind, Mighty Wind. Sure. I don't know how long I've spent, but that was just essentially one mechanic that we've covered. I have a couple more to cover, as well as rotations. So yeah, let's get going, I suppose. But just to recap real quick, Burning Embers, we probably don't need to recap, but Burning Embers can be consumed by lightning skills. Maybe not really strong if you do Burning Embers or Sticky Cord and then go straight to cashing out with the lightning skill. So if you want more damage from that, do Burning Embers or Sticky Cord. Tier it up with Gust of Wind or more Burning Embers. Or if how long is the duration? 20 seconds? It's only 20 seconds. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to self-tier up the AoE Burning Embers by recasting Sticky Cord. It's not gonna last, I suppose, unless you extend. Yeah, you can actually extend the duration. Yeah, maybe that's possible. So like, do Sticky Cord, do Gust of Wind, and then do other stuff, and then do Gust of Wind again to extend the duration. Maybe, and then do Lightning Storm for the damage, the big damage. But yeah, so Burning Embers, Sticky Cord, tier it up, optionally lock up or see. Oh, what's the wording for it? I already have the tooltip here. I don't know why. Oh wait, no, I need Flame of. Yeah, never mind. It is here. Fix. There you go. Fix it in place is the wording they used. So fix your Burning Embers in place, and at least for one single target, and then do cash out. You don't have to go through that whole rotation. It really depends. But because Red's DPS is quite high. This is the whole rotation is probably only going to be relevant for relevant in longer fights and against bosses, I suppose. You don't have to include Gust of Wind in that rotation as well, because Gust of Wind is 674 to 842 damage. Maybe it's still worth it. It depends. It depends. But like, if you don't need the AoE, you can just skip Gust of Wind. This is a 0.7 second induction. Burning Ember says just a 0.5 second induction, and the Wizard's Fire is instantaneous. So like, if you just want to tear up real quick, you can just spam Burning Embers. On a single target, that is, because Gust of Wind is good for if you have multiple enemies like this. Wait, hold on, thought. It got tiered up to Searing Embers with just one Gust of Wind. So yeah, that's Smoldering Embers, right? And then Burning Embers. It jumped from it skipped the Burning Embers tier to Searing Embers. It doesn't say here that it causes Gust of Wind to jump that tier or skip that tier, or like add 2 tiers. I mean, I guess Dry Kindling. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it is actually with Dry Kindling that which enables the tiering up of Burning Embers twice. Like, it just jumps from Smoldering Embers tier to Searing Embers tier. But yeah, as I was I almost forgot to go back to this part. So without Dry Kindling, which is gonna be a while, and it's also a matter of if you take the straight or not. It's yeah, it's gonna depend on having the straight the tiering up of Burning Embers. So like, I assume that without this trait, Burning Embers will remain at Smoldering Embers tier. Someone correct me in the comments. Sorry, I paused for like a few seconds there, but I can check. Like, I can spend the money. Yeah, you know what? For the content, I really didn't want to have to rebuild the. I didn't want to have to rebuild the spec. All right, so just apply that for now. We have improved ignition, and we have some. You know what? Let's get this too. Yeah, let's just get everything except for everything that we already had before, except for Dry Kindling. Oh wait, I didn't need to. Actually, I didn't need to commit because I need to re-specialize again to finish the build. But yeah, let's do that. I don't have Dry Kindling. I have improved ignition. Let's check if Burning Embers will tier up. It's not tearing up. It's remaining at Smoldering Embers tier. Even with whoa, even with Flame of Anor. Reapply or tier up every time. It doesn't specify what's the difference between like what causes it to just reapply or tier up over time. Let's see. Oh yeah, it does say here whether or not it tears up is governed by your Dry Kindling trait. Okay, so yeah, without dry kindling, it doesn't cheer up. So that's up to you. Also, side tangent. I don't know if you noticed, but like in my Blue Lore Master video, I didn't have floating damage on. I don't like having floating damage on, generally. Um, I don't know. It's very minor, but I think it's a bit more immersive without having the damage on. Disadvantage though with having floating damage off is that you won't be able to see the instances of parry, uh, instances of parrying, blocking, evading, interruptions. I mean, you can have interruptions like if you just have. Uh, no. Where am I going? Floating. Sorry. There you go. Floating. My mouse is a problem, bro. Sorry. Alright, if you just have floating damage enabled and you don't have floating damage on, you can see interruptions. Like the floating text for interruptions will still pop up or appear on screen, but everything else doesn't get shown. So like even parries, evades, blocks, and devastating hits, critical hits. What else? Yeah, stuff like that. They don't get shown if you don't have floating damage and my floating damage on. So you gotta have this if you want to see those. But otherwise, in general, like I said, I don't really mind not seeing those. Sorry, I'm drinking real quick because I've been talking for way too long now. But if you want to see those information, you gotta have that enabled. That's enabled by default, but if you're like me, you're not gonna see them because yeah, if you're like me and if you keep that off, you're not gonna see that sort of information on your screen, which is quite unfortunate, but it is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, for the purposes of this video, I turned it on. I also changed my settings so that all my 4 main bars are constantly displaying. I usually don't keep these on, but because I'm doing this guide, quote-unquote, video, I don't know, maybe it's actually a proper guide now because I went to the training hall in Breed to cover certain basics and fundamentals, and have covered quite a lot already. So yeah, it is a guide video, huh? Hopefully you've learned something, or else I've failed significantly. I don't know. I was going for a different adverb there. But yeah, sorry. I'm kind of taking a break real quick. If you've noticed, I'm slowing down because I'm feeling the tiredness in my voice. Anyway, alright, let's get going. Alright, let's re-specialize. Wait, do I need to re-specialize? Oh no, I don't. Okay. If I still have points, I don't need to re-specialize to remove or to add more, to earn more traits or unlock more traits. So this is essentially what we had. And then commit. And then can I? Yeah, I can't remove the points or refund points once you've spent all of them. You can apparently just spend more of the points if you still have them without having to re-specialize. But if you've already spent all of them, you gotta re-specialize because you can't refund points unless you hit this button. So yeah, alright, what's next? Master of the Elements. Oh boy, this shouldn't take long. Let's try to keep this brief. I say that, but that's a famous last words moment. I'm trying to detach the tooltip again. It's not showing up where I need it or where I can see it. Alright, so Master of the Elements, Not particularly complex, but because it's very rotation. Not necessarily rotation. I feel like rotation is a term for repeated skill chains, maybe. So like maybe skill order. I don't know if that's clear enough term to be using for this guide. But yeah, skill order is what Master of Elements really affects. I enjoy this set bonus trait a lot. It is a major contributor to how much fun I have with the Red Lore Master now compared to my maybe complete lack of interest in the Red Lore Master before the rework. Because like I said, I prefer supports, and Red the previous Red was just kind of a jumbled mess of a combination of like they had cool flashy skills already, but like part of the kit was still just yellow. Like yellow's kit was spread or was shared with blue and red, because I don't know, not sure if I pointed this out earlier in the video, but pre-rework lore master, even during the long trade trees, pre-rework, pre-U41 era of lore master, it was still essentially a support class, because at least in group content, you're gonna want to go yellow, because red and blue were not good enough for good content. They were great, they were solid enough, or not just enough, but like they're essentially all specs were fine on landscape and soloing, and for soloing, but historically the lore master class was just essentially yellow, and when they introduced the trade trees, blue and red were still partly yellow, skills wise, like what skills you had in your kit, I suppose is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, but now, sorry, I literally forgot how I went from Master of Elements to that whole tangent, and so I'm struggling to connect it back to Master of Elements. But yeah, Master of Elements, very smooth transition. Master of Elements, oh, it's because I was talking about rotation skill orders, I think was the jumping off point for that tangent. So yeah, Master of Elements. Oh, I was talking about the fun I was having with, or I've been having with current red as opposed to old red, because old red was still old red didn't have this mechanic at all. And yeah, this is like I said, this is essentially why I enjoy red now. I like interweaving, or not interweaving, but like I like mixing the elements, I suppose, like intermixing the elements in combat. And so, for example, like I like to, if I don't have Ring of Fire available, I like to open with Sticky Gourd. So like Sticky Gourd, and then Staff Sweep, and then you can see this effect on your enemies. This is from Master of the Elements, particularly the Fire and then Frost component of this trait, this is what you get, Brittle Frost. So essentially, if you do a fire skill and then you follow it up with a frost skill, you apply an offensive debuff on them. This I really love this component. I don't really do lightning than frost, but I'm glad that it's a thing. I'm glad that it's a thing, but because it's still, oh shoot, hold on, let me do something like that again. To bring up the tooltip, there you go. Flash Frozen, oh, that's what it's called. So yeah, if you do lightning and then frost, you get Flash Frozen. Like, I know Wizard's Frost already applies a slow by default, but if you do a lightning skill first and then Wizard's Frost or another frost damage skill, you get Flash Frozen, which is a much greater slow. They need to standardize the tooltip. It's different. The Texan group might call this the original, the classic sentence or the classic writing that they had, and Flash Frozen is new. So yeah, it means essentially the same thing. This lasts shorter though, huh? Oh wait, no, it doesn't. Does it? Does it actually last shorter? I mean, Wizard's Frost. Okay. Alright, so lightning and then frost. Yeah, dude, it lasts shorter. It does last shorter than Wizard's Frost. But Wizard's Frost by default is a free slowing skill. So like you have that, like on top of the frost damage, you get you also apply a slow, and if you use this on a flank target, you also get a heal. So like the frost, the slow component is already a built-in component. So I guess you can use that as a justification for why it has a longer duration. It's also just general balancing, I suppose. Maybe the devs found that, you know, if Flash Frozen also lasted 4 seconds, that would be OP. I don't know how the maths work, but yeah, it's 50% slow compared to the 30% slow of just the normal slow from Wizard's Frost. And I don't think they stack. Hold up. Yeah, they don't stack. It tries to, as you saw there, it tries. They stack. They stack in the sense that you still, like it still applies Grip by Cold, but Flash Frozen overrides it for the 3 seconds that it, for the 3-second duration it has. But when it ends, you, I saw that it reverted to Grip by Cold for a quick second there before the whole slow duration ended. But like if you just do Lightning Strike and then Gust of Wind, because Gust of Wind doesn't have a slow component by default, you're just gonna get the Flash Frozen slow from that. But yeah, anyway, alright, so back to Brittle Frost. I mean, I don't, I can just finish covering Flash Frozen. So like Flash Frozen, if you want an AoE slow, in my experience, you're not really gonna need the slow much, because if you already do Lightning Storm and then Gust of Wind, for example, to do an AoE slow, the damage output from Lightning Storm is that, especially if you do something like Sticky Gourd first. Uh, the damage output from Lightning Storm and Sticky Gourd combined would have killed your enemies already, or like have them already almost dying at that point, and so you probably won't benefit if you do. You won't benefit much from the Flash Frozen if you do Gust of Wind after something else like Wizard's Frost. Or Staff Sweep. Staff Sweep is also Frost skill, Frost damage skill, and it's AoE too. So like if you don't have Gust of Wind active, if you're within 5 meters range, you can just do Staff Sweep. Staff Sweep also gives you a damage buff or a critical chance buff specifically, and so this is good to always intermix in your rotations. Like maybe if you can open with this, maybe open with Staff Sweep too. I like doing in my case I like doing Ring of Fire if that's available, and then Staff Sweep, and then it applies Brittle Frost, and then the enemies just die. They just start falling like leaves. I don't know. So yeah, so if I don't have Ring of Fire, I'll do Sticky Gourd instead. But yeah, back to Flash Frozen. So yeah, it's any lightning skill. So Lightning Strike, Lightning Storm, even Power of Knowledge if you feel like it. You probably this currently a low value skill. It's essentially at this point it's essentially gonna be you're gonna reserve this for if when you run out of power, run low on power. This is the main purpose of Power of Knowledge at this point. Yeah, what else? I'm not sure if I mean, oh, it does count as a lightning skill. So yeah, Nature's Fury counts as a lightning skill. If you cast Nature's Fury though, oh no, this is a whole other subtopic. Nature's Fury is a whole other subtopic. We'll get to that later, I suppose. Yeah, I'll cover that later. let's not cover that whole thing now. But Nature's Fury is apparently classified as a lightning skill. So if you do Nature's Fury, and then something like Staff Sweep, or Wizard's Frost. No. The thing with Nature's Fury is it turns Gust of Wind and Brittle Frost, or not Brittle Frost. Nature's Fury, Gust of Wind. It turns Gust of Wind and Wizard's Frost into I forgot what they're called. It's a Baleful Wind or something like that. No, this is a different. Is it Searing Wind or something? You know what? Let's do it right now. Oh wait, no, that's yeah. Never mind. I just did Ents Go To War. Let's do Nature's Fury, and then let's bring Burning Gale. There you go. Oh, okay. So low pressure and Burning Gale. So as I was saying, Nature's Fury turns Gust of Wind into Burning Gale and Wizard's Frost into low pressure. So if you want to go for Flash Frozen for some reason, using Nature's Fury, that's I don't know if maybe you'll accidentally do that interaction. But if you do Nature's Fury for to cause Flash Frozen, you can do. I mean, it doesn't have to be intentional. You could just unintentionally trigger Flash Frozen from Nature's Fury, and then there you go, staff sweep, I suppose. Trying to bring up the tooltip. There you go. Staff sweep or another frost damage skill, like low pressure, is what you'll have in place of Wizard's Frost after casting Nature's Fury. So yeah, you can do after Nature's Fury, which is a lightning skill, you can do either low pressure or staff sweep or both. I mean the second one of those that you cast won't trigger Flash Frozen, but the first one will. So like Nature's Fury into staff sweep will cause Flash Frozen. Nature's Fury into low pressure will cause Flash Frozen. Let's test that actually. Maybe it's bugged or something. And bugs are still relatively important to cover. It did grip by cold. Oh wait. I did that in the wrong order. Oh no, wait, can I reset Nature's Fury? I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't. Oh, I'll have to wait. I mean, I can easily go on another tangent and spend that time, but yeah. So Nature's Fury into low pressure doesn't trigger... It doesn't trigger Flash Frozen. It just triggered Wizard's Frost. Yeah, it just... Oh yeah. It just triggered the grip by cold effect. Or yeah, the grip by cold component of this skill. That's a bug. It's probably a bug. It's very minor because Flash Frozen, like I said, it's not really that beneficial unless you really need the slow and like your enemies are still, you know, if you're fighting tanky enemies or high morale enemies, are just if your enemies are just not dying yet and you need the distance or you just need the slow, then that's when you'll benefit from Flash Frozen. It's still not off cooldown. But yeah, next we'll do Nature's Fury and then Staff Sweep. I did Staff Sweep earlier, but I had already used the I already did the lightning into frost combo, and so like the last skill that I had used was I did Burning Gale, and so I did a fire into frost combo, which triggered brutal frost. Yeah, alright, Nature's Fury. So Nature's Fury into Staff Sweep. Oh, that's bugged. It's either bugged or it's just not intentional. But like it should. If we're going, if we're following semantics, I don't know if semantics is the right term here, but if we're following semantics, or at least if we're being strict with it, Nature's Fury, Master of Elements should count any lightning skill, and Nature's Fury is counted as a lightning skill. And so Nature's Fury should be able to trigger Master of the Elements effects. So like Staff Sweep should be able to cause Brittle Frost, and Low Pressure should be able to cause Flash Frozen after Nature's Fury. And oh my word, sorry, my voice is tired and I haven't done any combat. Alright, let's get into it, I suppose. But yeah, Master of Elements, I don't need to cover it right now. You'll see me doing my rotations, my preferred rotations in combat later. But like I briefly mentioned, I like opening with Ring of Fire after pulling groups of mobs, and then Staff Sweep, and then whichever AoE, probably Gust of Wind because it's slow cooldown after That's not, you know, that's not like frost into frost is not gonna combo, but at the very least, the fire into frost is gonna deal a lot of damage, and yeah, I don't need to worry about much after that. And then if you don't have, oh yeah, these are your options, I suppose, for that particular rotation. If you're going for an AoE Brittle Frost combo, you can do Ring of Fire. Ring of Fire on its own is very powerful. You probably don't even need to think about particular combos after you do Ring of Fire. But yeah, Ring of Fire into Staff Sweep. Oh wait, no, not Staff Sweep yet. Let's cover the fire damage goes. Ring of Fire, Sticky Gourd. Fractive is gonna be your lowest cooldown AoE fire skill. And I think, yeah, Ents Go To War, I think at one point it was a fire skill, but since U41, I think this guy, yeah, this is a Balerian damage skill. Oh wait, hold that thought. So Master of the Elements, I forgot about this aspect. So Master of the Elements is actually indicated in the tooltips. Like if it's gonna cause Brittle Frost, you'll see Frost Vulnerability in the tooltips, usually at the bottom like this. So if the fire damage skill will cause, like I said, Brittle Frost, you will see Frost Vulnerability. So how about, yeah, lightning skills is the same. Lightning skills that will cause Flash Frozen via Master of the Elements will show the frost vulnerability in the text in the tooltip. So Nature's Fury doesn't have it. I suppose that's justifies it not causing it. It's not a bug, it's just not a thing. Or maybe it was a forgotten aspect. But like I feel like it should just do it. Like why does it not do it? Maybe it's also a limitation. Maybe that's too much effects because Nature's Fury already changes your Gust of Wind and Wizard's Frost into Burning Gale and Low Pressure. So like maybe the game can't handle doing, I don't know. I'm just assuming. But yeah, maybe it can't handle like doing Master of the Elements stuff as well. So yeah. But yeah, alright, back to my rotations, I suppose. Or not all of them, but my Brittle Frost rotations. So AoE wise, Ring of Fire, Sticky Gourd character into Staff Sweep perhaps, or into Gust of Wind, or you can do what's probably easier is you start with Burning Embers because that's a core Lore Master skill, and then just go Burning Embers. That's gonna not only is it gonna do Brittle Frost in an AoE, I believe. Hold on, let's test that. Burning Embers into Gust of Wind. There's Brittle Frost. Oh wait, okay. It's good that I tested that so that I don't look stupid later when I assume that it does that in combat. It only does Brittle Frost on the target. Huh. Oh wait. I understand why that is the case. It's because Burning Ember is a single target. It only applies Frost Vulnerability on that singular target. And so if you do Sticky Gourd, for example, and then Gust of Wind, it should... Oh, apparently not. Okay, it's good to know, good to know. I had assumed that that would be the case. I never tested for it properly. So, okay. I guess, you know, that would be OP, and Red Line Lore Master is already fairly OP. I'll accept that as a justification. I'll accept that. But like, Master of Elements has limitations, as we figure out now, or at least in my case, I figure it out now. That it's not all encompassing. It has limits. The vulnerabilities, the frost vulnerabilities that get applied, they're not AoE. Let's do lightning into frost. I was hoping lightning storm into gust of wind would be an AoE slow, or like into staff sweep even. It's not. It's a single it would be a single target flash frozen's slow effect on your original target. Or oh wait, let's test something actually. So in this case for Brittle Frost, and then staff sweep. Whoa! What are these inconsistencies I'm discovering today? Cracked Earth into staff sweep. Okay. Oh wait, it didn't reach that one. Oh wait. Maybe I just clicked on the wrong one. Maybe I just didn't hit. Maybe I just didn't hit all of them, huh? All right. So sticky gourd into staff sweep. I hit these three. Okay. Okay. So wait, no. Let's wait for Bird of Frost to end. All right. So Cracked Earth into Gust of Wind. Frost vulnerability? Huh. That's a thing. So Sticky Gourd can apply Frost vulnerability in an AoE. Cracked Earth doesn't. Wait. Oh yeah, it does say it. It does say it here. Frost vulnerability. It just doesn't apply it in an AoE. That's inconsistent. That's a criticism point. If any devs are watching, I'll probably end up having to make the bug report. I don't know if it's even a bug. It's very minor, and that might have been done for balancing purposes. I don't know, but it's inconsistent is the thing. So, Lightning Storm into Gust of Wind, for example. The Flash Frozen effect was only applied on this one. Alright, so Lightning Strike into Staff Sweep. What? Oh, wait. So maybe it's specifically... Oh, it's Staff Sweep. Okay. At least I'm understanding it now. So Wizard's Fire into Staff Sweep. It's Staff Sweep. Oh, that's a discovery. So it's not. So it's not the skills themselves applying, or not. Maybe it is though. I don't know how that works. Because like, presumably, it's the skills themselves that apply the frost vulnerability, and then if you hit those targets with the frost skill, then either depending on which skill you use, either Brittle Frost or Flash Frozen will take effect. Or would take effect. But from my experience now, based on my experience now, oh wait, whoops, I had that one already had Brittle Frost. Let me do this, and then this. Wait, no. Okay, that. Oh, okay. This is the same situation apparently as insult to injury in yellow. Which self promo, I guess I just covered insult to injury in a recent yellow lore master video. That's not a full guide like this, but I did cover insult to injury in that one. I'm gonna cover it again in the proper yellow lore master video if we get to it at this point. But yeah, this is interesting. So Gust of Wind has problems. I don't know. I don't know. Wait. Let's do Burning Embers here, and then let's do Gust of Wind on this dummy. Okay. So yeah, Frost Vulnerability doesn't get applied on the targets. It gets applied to you, and then it consumes that hidden Frost Vulnerability status. Once you apply the frost, once you cast a frost skill, and then it applies Brutal Frost or Flash Frozen on your frost skills target, and not on who was affected by the skills. Not those who were affected by the opener skills, by the the first part of your skill chain for Master of the Elements. If that made sense. Hopefully that made sense. So like in this case, if I do Sticky Gourd and then Burning Embers, or not Burning Embers, Gust of Wind, Sticky Gourd would be the opener skill for your Master of Elements chain, and then Gust of Wind would be the finisher skill. For the purposes of this demonstration, that's the terminology we're going with. But yeah, so Master of Elements is not dependent on who the opener skills land on. It's dependent on who the finisher skills. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. It's dependent on who the finisher skills land on. And so like in this case, maybe Gust of Wind is bugged, because Gust of Wind is an AoE. But unlike Gust of Wind, Staff Sweep is able to do Brittle Frost in this case from Master of the Elements in an AoE. But like if you do Burning Embers and then Gust of Wind, the Brittle Frost, or Burning Embers into Gust of Wind, the Brittle Frost only got applied. It only gets applied on your Gust of Wind's primary target and not in an AoE. I'm assuming it's a bug or that's an oversight. Anyway, moving on. We should probably already move on from Master of Elements. But yeah, you'll get to see whatever rotations I do with Master of Elements. It doesn't have to be like the AoE stuff. I can, I can, for example, I can do Burning Embers, and then if I want to apply Brittle Frost on a different target, I can do that. I can do Burning Embers on the other, and then Gust of Wind on another target. So yeah, that's the play. But yeah, I just find it fun in general. I low-key wish Master of Elements was universal to all lore masters, but like, that's fine. I have Insult to Injury in yellow, I'm missing that kind of interplay in blue, but like I already find Retribution plus Sigil's fun in blue. Would be nice to have that kind of interplay in blue as well, but like Master of Elements or Insult to Injury, that sort of interplay. Um, also in blue, but it's not, and I suppose it's fine. Alright, so yeah, I'm discovering rotations for a good majority of this video apparently. Oh no, I was hoping to cover more missions. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll still cover like all the missions that I want to. But alright, so staff sweep, I'm just gonna cover this briefly. I already covered this, mentioned this earlier, but staff sweep gives you this buff. Improved staff sweep. Improved staff sweep is the name of I don't know, actually I don't know. Alright, let's cover unyielding sweep as well. So unyielding sweep gives your buff, which is this buff, improved staff sweep, the critical chance buff, if you're just listening. More duration or longer duration. So +8, that means seconds. It's +8 seconds. It should add an S there after the 8 or something. And then unyielding sweep also buffs your staff sweep damage. So that's straightforward. But I'm pointing this out specifically because of the crit chance buff. So like staff sweep is actually a good opener skill in your rotations. Or not necessarily the first skill that you cast, but an early skill to cast. It needs to land though. So like for example, if you cast staff sweep and you didn't hit anyone, you're not gonna get the buff. You're not gonna get this buff. It needs to land on at least one target and you get the buff. It doesn't have to be multiple targets, it just needs to be one target. But yeah, so the critical chance buff is applied to you, and that makes it a good opener or at least an early skill in your rotation. So like I said in my case, because of Master of the Elements requiring the frost skill to be cast after a fire or lightning skill, I like in the case of fire skills, I like doing, for example, Sticky Gourd first and then Brittle Frost, and then Staff Sweep to do Brittle Frost. My voice is getting tired. Yeah, but like I said, if Ring of Fire is available, I like doing Ring of Fire first. You'll see that later when we finally get to missions. What else is there to cover? Sticky Gourd, that's straightforward. Quickening Flame. Once you get this set bonus trait, fire skills will reduce the cooldown, or not cooldown. Fire skills will reduce the casting time, which are called inductions in this game. So like if you do Burning Embers, as you can see there, you're getting this Quickened Flame. It tiers up to 3 apparently. Does it tier up to more? No, it's the max is 3. But yeah, if you cast fire skills, when you cast fire skills, you'll get faster inductions. I don't know if you noticed there. Hold on, let's allow it to expire. All right, that's expired. Quicken Flame. I'm referring to Quicken Flame. Let's do Gust of Wind. See that induction time? But if you do Burning Embers or fire skills first, let's I suppose let's tier it up to 3, and then do Gust of Wind. See, that was almost instantaneous. What Quicken Flame, that's essentially what that trait does. That's much later though, so like if you're at level 30, you're not or somewhere at that point. This still some distance off. Ents Go To War. May as well cover Ents Go To War now. Ents Go To War is unique to red now. This used to be, wait, no, this was already unique to red, but previously you could unlock it, I think, in the tree, but now that it's a set bonus trait, it's only in red. You can't unlock it by cross trading anymore. Not sure though that you could though, but at least at one point you could, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know. But yeah, alright, so Ents Go To War. Oh wait, the set bonus trait just covers, it just says they learn to use Ents Go To War part. So we're gonna have to bring up the actual Ents Go To War tooltip. Alright, Ents Go To War. It applies. Hold up. We should check this actually, because like maybe this another Master of the Elements and insult to injury situation, but like supposedly if you do Cracked Earth first, okay, and then do Ents Go To War, okay, it looked like it's not the same situation. So Cracked Earth actually applies the shaken status. Yeah, the shaken status. Hold up, let me do it and bring it up, bring the tooltip up. Yeah, there you go. Vulnerable to marching ants. It actually applies this, and so targets that get hit by your Ents Go To War will benefit from this vulnerable to marching ants effect, and they will take bonus damage from that combo. So that's once again, that's Cracked Earth into Ents Go To War. So yeah, Cracked Earth into it applies vulnerable to marching ants, and then you do Ents Go To War for more damage. This is a long cast time combo though, so like in most cases I found that I don't really go for this combo anymore. It's cool though, and what's additionally cool is that Ents Go To War has a knockdown effect if your enemies fall below 20% morale, so like they get dazed essentially, and that's a CC component in red that which kind of makes it cool. But because Cracked Earth is where's the induction time, 0.9 second induction time into a 1.3 second induction time unless you animation cancel this, because Ents Go To War is a long animation or yeah, it's a long induction time, and the animation is long too, but the animation time is longer than the induction time, but the animation has to finish before it takes effect unless you animation cancel, I think. So yeah, let's test that now real quick, I suppose. Yeah, it doesn't. I tried to cancel it, but it already reached the success point of the induction. But yeah, the damage only gets applied after the animation finishes. But if you animation cancel, and by animation cancel in the Lore Master's case, you can do it via Light of the Rising Dawn. Since U41, this got turned from an inducted stun skill to an immediate interrupt skill. It no longer stuns, but it now interrupts. It's also low cooldown now, but the damage is significantly lower than before this underwent a transformation. And unfortunately for some people, I guess that I also miss old Light of Rising Dawn, but it's fine at the very least. You know, I still use this for interruptions, and in the Red Lore Master's case for animation canceling, for Ents Go To War and whatnot. In yellow or blue, or at least in blue, the Retribution imbued Wizard's Frost has a long animation, and so if you're in a rush, you could finish that animation faster with Light of a Rising Dawn. And in Yellow's case, what's a long animation? Test of Will has a long induction time, but I think the animation time is proportionate to the induction time. I mean, Fire and Frost lore, which has the same animation as the Retribution imbued Wizard's Frost in blue, you could, I suppose, finish that fast too with Light of the Rising Dawn. But usually, at least in my case, I just queue up. It's not here, but I can just queue up. I mean, the trait is here for Immemorial Wind. I can just queue up Fire and Frost lore and then Wind lore. I don't have to. I don't really bother with animation canceling Fire and Frost lore. So yeah. But yeah, alright. I had spent enough time talking that Ents Go To War is already off cooldown as intended. Because what we're gonna be doing now, we're gonna be doing Cracked Turf into Ents Go To War into Light of a Rising Dawn. Alternatively, you can use Wisdom of a Council to animation cancel, but you're gonna want to reserve this for the heal and for the defensive benefit that you get from Wisdom of the Council. So you're usually not gonna in my previous Red Lore Master video though, I did go from Ents Go To War, or from characters into Ents Go To War into Wisdom of the Council, because I was less practiced then with Red Lore Master, and I was using characters into Ents Go To War more, and I needed the morale back because I was nearly dead, and so I went. I did character of Ents Go To War and then Wisdom of the Council. But typically, you're just gonna go character of Ents Go To War, Light of Rising Dawn, or in other cases, you're not even probably gonna bother with character. You're just gonna do Ents Go To War. I don't know how people play, but Ents Go To War, as long as it doesn't necessarily require Cracked Earth before it to potentially knock down targets, it just has to deal enough damage for the knockdown effect if you're going for the knockdown effect. So yeah, if you're just going for that, you can just do Ents Go To War, or if Cracked Earth is on cooldown and you don't feel like waiting for it, just go straight into Ents Go To War. And if your other skills are on cooldown, just go Ents Go To War and then Light of a Rising Dawn to animation cancel, so that you get the time, you get time back, and which you could instead spend on casting other skills already, instead of waiting for Ents Go To War's animation to finish, essentially. Alright, so let's do that. Cracked Earth, Ents Go To War, wait for the bar to finish, and then do Light of Rising Dawn. I tried to animation cancel Light of Rising Dawn too. I don't know how to do that. Maybe it's also ping based, but I'm from Southeast Asia. I don't know if I can intentionally animation cancel Light of Rising Dawn, but supposedly if you cast an immediate skill fast enough, you can cancel the skill itself, like the interrupt. I don't know if you can still do the animation canceling part, but the skill itself won't take effect. So like you don't get any benefits from the Light of Rising Dawn skill itself, aside from the animation cancel to help boost your DPS numbers. Let's try that real quick and see. No, I can't. I spammed the button. I couldn't do it. I don't know if I don't know how to do it reliably. I've done it accidentally before. And very unfortunate if you do it accidentally with Wisdom of a Council, because you need the heal. In cases where you use Wisdom of a Council, you need the heal. And so if you accidentally cancel Wisdom of the Council, you're just gonna die at that point. But yeah, alright, let's do that again. I already demonstrated, but character, let's go to war, wait for the success to finish, and animation cancel with Light of Rising Dawn. The damage from Ents Go To War still takes effect when you do that. But yeah, it's just net positive to animation cancel. Unfortunately, though, you don't get to see the marching end visual. Do the stomp. You don't get to see that part when you animation cancel. So like, it sucks. But if you're chasing DPS, you're gonna want to do that in animation canceling thing. Alright, so there's that, and we already covered Flame of Anor. I was gonna do this in order from top to bottom, but because this got relevant earlier with improved ignition, I may as well I might as well cover it, and I did. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The rest you can probably just, you know, like self-teach to yourself. That was redundant. And now let's do practicals. Let's do practicum, I guess. I don't know if I'm using the word right, but let's go to Trestlebridge. Now you get to see me in actual combat. That was long-winded. I'm trying to remember how I divided the blue lore master guide in parts, and I remember that I divided the missions by pet, which I can do that still, but I don't, because I don't have need for haste. The cooldowns for the pet summoning skills are gonna be long. It's 2 minutes long by default without the trait. And so we'll see if I'll manage to cover the basic pets we have. And if you're wondering how I have the summoning skills for the other pets that I don't have unlocked yet, I mean, I don't have them per se. Like I can't use them. See, it says you need a valid target, but even if I do have a target, let's test that. Maybe there's a bug. I don't know. There's also a bug testing video apparently. But yeah, it was interesting with Master of the Elements, Gust of Wind in particular, not applying Master of the Elements effects in an AoE. Alright, see, the skill cannot be used. I don't have the actual skills available to me, but what I was trying to say is that I have the icons, the skill icons, in my toolbar. How you do it? Oh wait, can you actually do it these days? I mean, yeah, you can. You just have to. Oh no, I don't think I can do it here. Wait, let's minimize the skill list. Just go to here. There you go. Can I actually see it here? Oh yeah, I can see. This is how. It's because I have alternate appearance versions, like cosmetic appearance. I don't know what's the actual term, but alternate appearance versions of the Ego, the Lurker, and the Saber-toothed Cat. That's why they're still here in the list, even though I can't use the skills. Those versions of the skills, when you spec red, they get converted into these grayed out skills that you can't use, but you can put them in the toolbar. And I just think that they look cool there. And this is these positionings are where I would place the skills anyway. So like when I get to that point, I suppose, I don't know if I'll unlock these. I will probably, because I like having the options. At least for solo play, I like having these traits. Yeah. At that point, the skills have already been placed in my skill bar. But at the same time, I say that. But at the same time, I only have 2 trait trait configurations available because I'm too cheap for this third one. And I don't really main red. I just enjoy red for the guide video purposes. But if I didn't make guide videos for Lore Master, I would just have yellow and blue, and so I would not benefit from having placed these. I mean, they just look cool in the bar. Sorry, that was a whole tangent. Alright, before we do missions, let me drink water. My voice is tired, man. I guess thankfully my water, because it's hot in my location these days, I put cold water in my container. But thankfully now it's not that cold anymore. Because my voice is tired, and cold water is bad for tired voices. Okay? Keep your voices healthy, I suppose. And don't do extensive guide videos like this. Hold on, let me check real quick. Okay. Would be real. I check real quick. I check real quick if if OBS is still recording. Or if it was recording, like maybe I didn't hit the record button and I just did the whole video. So yeah, it would have real sucked if I wasn't recording and I've already tied up my voice and stuff. Anyway, all right, let's do the missions. Before then, I feel like I'm missing something, but maybe I'll remember. Alright, so previously I had covered Attack on Caught Fast, Invaders on the Delph, and Trouble on the Brandy Wine with my blue Lore Master. Just for variety purposes, let's cover, I had already planned, even back then I had already planned dividing the missions between the different specs. So like in this case, alright, I had planned this and I had reminded myself of this. We're gonna start with Assault on Trestlebridge. This is the easiest mission. But what I wanna highlight first, I suppose, is single target combat.
What do you need?
Before I proceed to doing my AoEs and stuff. But yeah, alright. Before any combat, do sign of the power of vigilance. Not necessarily for the stealth detection, although that's helpful in some locations. But that's helpful for the max morale bonus. Alright. See the power of Red Lore Master. Witness it. It's so easy. And apparently I heard from Aubrey the Weird One's video that Lore Masters are flagged as or categorized as a moderate difficulty class now. They used to be advanced, and I'm assuming it's because of the Red Lore Master and the damage output it has, which makes it one of the easier classes now to level with, I suppose. And even blue is fairly simple. So like it's mostly just yellow that's fairly advanced at this point, maybe because um, it's got a lot more skills and see that was a signature enemy. Apparently I didn't leave that AoE uh, fast enough. But yeah, that was a signature enemy, and that didn't last long. That fight didn't last long. Alright, also spam your Water Lord because these can stack up to 3 and these are heal over time. These are not great as reactive heals. Oh wait, I did Gust of Wind after Lightning Strike. I wanted to do Burning Embers, but I ended up doing Flash Frozen instead. Or not Burning Embers, I wanted to do Brutal Frost, and I ended up doing Flash Frozen instead. Wow, see, easy mission, big damage, don't need to fiddle much. It's an easy class at this point. If you wanna like make use of knowledge of the Lore Master, apply them on signature mobs or tanky mobs, and then yeah, just stack the debuffs so that they die faster. Dispel the corruption if you feel like it. I mean, if the corruptions get applied early, definitely dispel them early. Your dispel corruption, there you go. The dispel corruption, I wanted to cover this in red. Let's talk about it after this match. Not match. Wow, I feel like I was feeling like I was playing something like Dota 2 where you play in matches, but this isn't a match, this is an instance. Alright, see, already finished this mission. Put this in red because, like I said, this is the fastest DPS dealing spec of this class, and that was the shortest mission, and the easiest mission. So yeah, for red we're actually gonna be covering 4 instead of 3 missions, like with blue. Or unlike with blue Lore Master when we did that video. But yeah, I wanted to do Assault on Trestlebridge first as a warm-up for red because I don't know, and to feature a single target, like easy basic rotations and stuff. As you saw there, Burning Embers, Wizard's Fire, Lightning Strike, or Lightning Charge Staff Strike. If you feel like it, you can apply Brutal Frost via Wizard's Frost or Gust of Wind after Burning Embers. If I had felt like it, I could have optimized even more and just and inserted Staff Sweep into my rotations there. But yeah, so as mentioned, I wanted to cover Dispel Corruption. And Dispel Corruption in red, unlike in blue and yellow, where Dispel Corruption changes depending on the pet you have summoned, this doesn't change in red. This is straightforward. This is just the base version. This is what you get when you have the bear pet active in blue or yellow. But even without the bear pet active, this is what you get. This is the base version. Single target, 19 power. I didn't need to point out the power amount, but apparently that's 19 power. I was playing Lore Master. Not Lore Master. I was playing Minstrel earlier today, and I was looking at some of the power cost of the skills. Maybe it's scales per level. So like, because my Minstrel was a lower level character, the power costs were lower. I don't know how that works. No, Gust of Wind is low power cost with the hyphen. If you're thinking I said that ungrammatically. But yeah, okay. I guess the base skills are low power cost. This Burning Embers also just cost 3 power. Also just low power. Wizard's Fire is a base lore master skill, or just a core low cooldown lore master, low cooldown, low duration. I don't know. It's 10 seconds, fairly long. Low cooldown lore master skill. Not 13 to 19. That's interesting. I'm getting distracted. See, maybe this is specifically in red because in red Wizard's Fire is extra important, and Lightning Strike, which would be Wizard Spark in blue and yellow, would is extra important. But like Wizard's Fire is the highest costing sigil skill in terms of power. So like that's 13 to 19. Why is it a variable power cost? That's interesting. That's interesting too. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the damage, but like this also has a damage range. But for some reason, this also has a power range, power cost range. So yeah, that's 13 to 19. This is just 10. This is just. It doesn't even cost power, does it? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wizard's Frost doesn't cost power. That's another new observation I'm only making today. Despite like I was even more studious about the new lore master when the rework was new. I didn't realize that Wizard's Frost doesn't cost power. Maybe that's just in red. I don't know, but like it doesn't in red at least. That's a thing. You'd think that red would not cost power. Oh, not red. Wizard's Fire. I mean, technically it's red themed. I mean, it's orange technically. But like you'd think Wizard's Fire would be the one to not cost power because it restores power. Wait a second. It doesn't. There it is. Restores your power over after. It doesn't say here, but it's after your animation finishes. There. So like that's interesting that it costs the most power in red, but it's the sigil that restores power, and not just in red too. That's the power restoration is for all lore master specs. All right, so tangent over. Hopefully, let's start a Looming collapse. All right, we're gonna start with playing with AoEs because I'm gonna pull groups of mobs in this fight, and I'm gonna use Ring of Fire for the first pull. As far as I know, that's what I usually do. Minor pet command, minor call flank so that I can run faster with the. Oh yeah, I forgot to cover the flanking interactions. I mean, I'd already covered it in blue, but I could cover it more again. We'll talk about that later. I should focus on not dying because I'm doing risky pulls, relatively risky pulls. Alright, let's do it. And then staff sweep. And there's another extra AoE. See, oh, most of them died. Oh no. Okay, it died before it finished that sacrifice go. I was gonna say a potentially TOS or like community rule breaking word. Oh man, I'm worried about my connection. I'm experiencing some lag. Lag. Not leg. Wait, that sounded sus. No! Alright, spam sigils while I pull. I mean, everyone does that. I don't need to discuss or talk about it. My Ring of Fire is on cooldown. Let's do what did I do? Sticky Gourd and then staff sweep. I'm not even doing optimized combos right now, but I just need to. I just want to finish the mobs before they do the AoE thing that they did. See? Big damage, easy fights, in red, for the most part. Maybe I should also feature attack on Codfast in this, because attack on Codfast I do riskier pulls, because I just split the mobs. I just split the whole attack on Codfast map or area in only 2 pulls, and there are quite a lot of mobs in Attack on Codfast, and there are silences, enemies with silences and stuns in Attack on Codfast, and roots as well. That's gonna be the riskiest mission for me to run in red, but I already have like 4 missions to run, or 4 missions for red line in this video, and I don't want to overextend. This is already a long video too. So let me know if there's interest me running Attack on God fast with my 2 risky pulls in that mission. Oh, apparently I didn't take this one. In red line. I mean, even in yellow it's pretty risky. Blue has it easy, especially with the saber-tooth cat pet. In that mission, blue is easy mode in attack with the in attack on caught fast prepositions. Wait, I missed one. I missed one? Yeah, I missed one here. But yeah, after this one, we're doing Svalfang stand to feature Nature's Fury. I mean, that's where I had originally planned to cover Nature's Fury extensively, but I ended up covering it already in the training hall section of the video earlier. Oh wait, we're already done with the item retrieval or item interaction part of this mission. Okay. But yeah, Svalfang stands so that we can feature Nature's Fury in combat, because that mission has a singular boss part, or I don't know how to describe that. It's a singular boss type of instance or encounter, I guess. And Nature's Fury, while it does have an AoE effect, me gesturing AoE with my hands right now, that you can't see, because this has or not because, but this also has an AoE component, but it's a long cooldown skill. It's 2 minutes. Yeah, long. It's your longest cooldown skill. That's why I usually reserve this for boss type mobs and Svalfang, even though that mission is not particularly hard. Svalfang is a boss type of enemy, and that's boss types are the best targets for big skills like Nature's Fury and Murder of Crows in blue. So like if I ran, did I run? I don't think I did. Did I cover Murder of Crows in my blue video? I don't even remember. I probably like covered it. but I didn't like have a hold up. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Sorry, I can't take calls right now. I didn't mute my phone. But yeah, I'm not sure if I did. Let me know. Let me know. I can just watch it myself. But yeah, Murder of Crows in blue is functionally the same as, or not functionally the same, but it's the same type of skill in terms of application. It's a single target skill with an AoE component. I can't see the Murder of Crows complete tooltip here because this one doesn't detach the skills tooltip itself. But yeah, see that part over there? I can't point to the mouse, but it says effects applied to enemies within 5 meters. That's an AoE component. This also has an AoE component. Enemy effects applied to enemies within 5 meters. See, functionally the same in terms of application. This one though is more of it got changed into a. It's still a damage over time. It's still a damage over time. It still has a damage over time component, similar to Nature's Fury, but it's also important. It's also more important, or not more necessarily more important. I mean, maybe technically more important in terms of the debuff that it applies. Wait a minute, give me a second. I'm actually not very familiar with the Murder of Crows and its alternatives in the other classes, or its equals. I forgot the actual word. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. But there's a word for it. I'm forgetting the word. But yeah, essentially, or counterparts. There you go. It's I'm not very familiar with a Murder of Crows and its counterparts in other classes, but like it has a particular role. But it's a long cooldown. I can't detach that tooltip. It's a long cooldown, single target skill that has an AoE component. But see, as you can see here, this effect does not stack with other potent incoming damage effects. That's the important part of a Murder of Crows, the incoming damage component. It's a big incoming damage debuff skill that has counterparts in other offensive support specs like the Red Captain and the Blue Mariner. So that's how it differs from Nature's Fury, because Nature's Fury is essentially just more damage. I don't know, what can I say? It's a damage spec. The whole point is to deal more damage. Of course, damage can be applied in different ways. That's the fun of it. That's the creative aspect of and how you can differentiate specs that are. That's how you can differentiate damage specs from one another. But yeah, in the case of Nature's Fury, it's a long cooldown, single target applied skill with a lot of damage over time, a small an AoE component, a small AoE component, and yeah, essentially just more damage over time. And then it empowers Gust of Wind, as we covered earlier. It empowers Gust of Wind and Wizard's Frost. Turns Gust of Wind into a fire type Burning Gale skill, which also casts instantaneously. It doesn't have, as you saw earlier, it doesn't have inductions, an induction, and Wizard's Frost gets turned into a low pressure, the low pressure skill, which Wizard's Frost is already an instant cast skill, but it's got a long animation, and low pressure has a shorter animation. So with Nature's Fury's duration, that's with the empowerment of Gust of Wind and Wizard's Frost, it's 15 seconds for the empowerment, which means you have 15 seconds to cast Gust of Wind and Wizard's Frost. It's kinda enough time to cast them twice. Essentially, I need to get better at doing that because while they're on cooldown, low pressure has a cooldown. Wizard's Frost doesn't really have a cooldown. It's just 0.5 seconds. And Gust of Wind is only 10 seconds. I think Burning Gale is also just 10 to 15 seconds. But low pressure has a longer cooldown, and so after I cast Burning Gale and low pressure, I tend to mix other skills as necessary, and then I end up running out of time for recasting both Gust of Wind and Wizard's Frost. Let's see if I can do that in this mission. I almost just said match again. It's not a match, it's the mission. Alright, recast Sign of Power Vigilance just to keep, you know, maintaining the max moral bonus. They should really change the AoE indicators from Svalfang for the rocks he throws into red. Okay, Knowledge of the Lore Master for the debuff. Let's do Burning Embers for the debuff and DPS. Let's do Nature's Fury. Let's do Burning Gale. Let's do Low Pressure. And then... See, Svalfang's already dead. I didn't even... There you go. There you go. Easy mission. Even easier in red, of course. So I did manage to do Burning Gale and Low Pressure twice because I was paying attention to them, I suppose. But I had to target the wolves summons, or I guess they're summons, but they're just ads, I suppose, of Svalfang, because Svalfang was already dead too. He already died too. Nature's Fury, on top of Burning Embers, not on top of, but like with the help of Burning Embers and Knowledge of the Lore Master, I suppose. And I think I also cast Wizard's Fire, I'm not sure. But yeah, I did also cast Burning Gale and Low Pressure on Svalfang once, and then he soon died after. And then, alright, last one is... I think Lockdown is what I'm going... Oh, no, Brooding in the Depths. Because Brooding in the Depths... oh no! I was hoping to try to summon pets too in these missions. I have not found the need to summon pets. But yeah, I mean, you can just read these for yourself. I'll probably summon Lynx later at one of the bosses. In this mission, the very situational. You're mostly gonna want to use this for defensive purposes because of the AoE Fear effect, which has the affected enemies run away from you as you summon the bear. Call to Ravens is specifically anti-ranged enemies, and so in the case of in terms of what we have available, Call to Lynx is going to be the most relevant, and this is the most universally useful, I suppose. Alternatively, you could go for Call to Saber-Tooth, because that's just also a damage. It's an AoE damage effect. This is a single target damage over time effect. But of course, this is better for single target, better for AoE, better for anti-ranged if they're tanky enough that you'd want to disarm them from being able to cast ranged attacks, or also like just nerf their debuff their range damage. Call to Lurkers has a stun, I think. Yeah, 3-second stun if you want the stun. I suppose this is also generally pretty universally useful, but like it depends on how tanky your enemies are. And Call to Eagles is, I think, oh, this is fire damage. Fire damage over time, so to present them like this, because these two have CC components. This specifically anti-ranged and slow as well, also applies a slow. I think no. This is a move speed buff to you, I think, if I remember correctly. This is kind of similar to how it is in blue and or yellow. I'm not sure, but the Raven has. I mean, summoning the Raven in red has a run speed component, but in blue and or yellow, it's by you access that component via minor pet command, I think, in those specs. So yeah, these two, Call to Lynx and Call to Eagles, are damage over time. This fire damage is Valarian damage. Every 2 seconds, this has an every 2 seconds aspect to it. Call to Saber-Tooth AoE. This is Call to Lynx and Call to Eagles single target. I forgot to point that out again. But yeah, the thing with pets in Red Lore Master is since U41, they're just temporary summons now. If you're wondering why I haven't summoned pets aside from cosmetic pets, and I forgot to resummon my non-combat fox pet after I ported from Bree Training Hall to Bree Town Training Hall. I don't know what's it actually is called. I don't remember. And I didn't even resummon my cosmetic pet. Whatever, that's fine. But at least I remember now that we're in the last mission. But yeah, the pet summoning skills in red, they're just temporary summons. They only last 10 seconds. Wait, no. I hovered over the wrong thing. 16 seconds. And the cooldowns are 2 minutes. And the cooldown is shared, is the thing in Redline. So like, you're mostly gonna reserve these for when you need them. Or like if you're in the group content, or if you're fighting a boss and stuff, you're a tanky boss, so that's mostly in group content, I suppose. You're gonna want to optimize your DPS by summoning your pets as soon as, summoning your chosen pet, but just if it's against a singular boss, you're gonna go with the Lynx. Or the eagle, I suppose. I don't know what the parses are. I mean, this is higher. It says it's higher, but like this has Valarian damage and fire damage. So like, I guess it also depends on the weakness of the boss. Maybe, I don't know, or just maybe the timing. Maybe the every 2 seconds additional DPS is like has an added benefit to you timing wise. I don't know, but yeah, you're gonna want to summon your pets as soon as they come off cooldown and you've exhausted your other skills as well. And you're probably gonna want to take the Need for Haste trait in blue, because this reduces your Call to Pet cooldown. The Call to Pet aspect here, or component here, is for red line lore masters. The 20% pet summoning induction has no bearing in red, but it benefits blue and yellow. And then yeah, it's just the call to pet cooldown is what it does for red line lore masters. And then you could also go where the tooltip go. There it is. You could do hunting instinct as well if you want more damage. Call to pet damage. This gets applied directly by the call to pet skills, like these effects, as you can see here. I'm trying to, there you go. As you can see here, like, let's just detach these two tooltips for example. These effects here, they get applied as soon as you summon the pets. You don't have to do anything else. Just do the call to pet skills. These effects get applied. Unlike in blue and yellow, if you played those specs first, in blue and yellow, to apply the effects special to the pet, you gotta use minor pet command and major pet command. And in blue, there's a special attack by minor, or no, not minor, by Sign of the Wild Rage. I almost forgot the name. Sign of the Wild Rage in blue for a special attack. That's a low cooldown skill in blue, so that's a core rotation skill in blue. And then situationally, there's Sign of the Wild Protection in blue. Yeah, I can't bring those tooltips out because I'm not expecting blue, but yeah. So that's how you access pet effects in blue and yellow. In yellow, you just have the minor pet command and the major pet command. In blue, you get 4 skills. But in red, you just need to summon you just have the one. You just need to summon the pets, and the effects will get applied directly. Red line, as you can tell, is the least pet oriented spec. It's more elemental damage oriented, since especially since U41. And yeah, but as I was talking about pets in red, temporary summons, these traits benefit your pet summon skills. Need for Haste for the call to pet cooldown, hunting instinct for the call to pet damage bonus. I'm not sure if, yeah, I don't think they do. Like the added pet attack duration reduction, because it's a minus. just to be clear, it also has pet attack duration reduction buff. This is a buff to your pet. What it does is it shortens your pet's like attacking time, with the animation stuff. I think. And buffs your pet's damage as well. That's for blue and yellow. These top 2 are for blue and yellow. The call to pet damage is what it does for red. So just to clarify that, because it doesn't say in the tooltips. This top one for Need for Haste for blue and yellow. But call to pet one, that's for red. They don't. That's not shared. These effects are not universal to all those specs. Like I said, these are for blue and yellow, and then these are for with red specifically. The bottom ones are for red specifically. All right, am my loot expiring yet? Because I've been talking for way too long. What else do I need to cover before I? Because this is the last one. If I haven't missed anything, I'm not. I'm just gonna end after this mission probably. So yeah, despite corruption, like I said, this gets affected by pets in blue and yellow, doesn't get affected in red. So like that's a major difference between blue and yellow from red line. It's the pets and the pet benefits and the pet interactions with skills. That's the difference. All right. So and like I said, in this particular mission, I'm probably just gonna call the links on one of the bosses. And then maybe I could do Nature's Fury on the other boss, because there are 2 boss fighters in this mission. Spoiler alert. Probably don't need to, honestly, because like I still have Ring of Fire, that's big damage, and like even without that, I still have Sticky Gourd and Lightning Storm. But for demonstration purposes, let's let's try to use everything. Now that it's the last mission I'm covering in Redline for this video. This is a really long video. I don't know how. I feel like this is much longer now, much longer than the blue line video that I did. Considering I covered different pets in blue. Huh. Oh yeah, the flank effects. I forgot about that. Oh no, I didn't cue the flank properly. I'll try to remember. Let's do Nature's Fury, why not? Cracked Earth. Oh yeah, I haven't covered Cracked Earth plus Ents Go To War in combat, huh? Okay. But yeah, I probably should have done that instead, because I already demonstrated Nature's Fury in combat. Oh man. I mean, this mission has smaller divisions or like mob distributions. Anyway, so like we get more opportunities to just waste our big skills on like the weaker spiders, I suppose. But yeah, real quick, sigils we already covered this in blue, in the blue lore master video, but these are your sigils in red. So like Wizard Spark gets turned into Lightning Strike in red. Wizard's Fire is the same, but it's extra stronger and has other interactions in red. Wizard's Frost is the same all across the specs, but in red it's because red is less defensive, like a lot less defensive than blue and yellow. The heal from Wizard's Frost might be something you appreciate. And because, oh yeah, let's cover this actually. Because the pet commands get turned into these instant cast call skills. In Redline, you can apply flanks on command on the fly, and consume them with Lightning Strike for movement speed. I've been trying to do that. I've been failing. So yeah, flank plus Lightning Strike, move speed bonus, flank plus Wizard's Frost heal, which you might appreciate in red because it doesn't have as many defensive options. And then flank plus Lightning Charge Staff Strike for the bonus damage. So like Wizard's Fire, originally you had to consume a flank for the power restoration component, but they changed that because flanks power restoration isn't that important, or at least not that high value, or not, yeah, not always needed, not as always or not as often needed as other benefits. They changed that so that it just restores power without needing to consume flanks. You know what they could have done though? I mean, I love that it just gives you free power, but what they could have done though, because I've seen this interaction with a bug in Yellow Line. But what they could do, I don't know if they can change. I don't know how hard coded flanks are in the game, so maybe they can't do it. But like, potentially, what they could have done is the power restoration on Wizard's Fire still require having a flank effect on the target, flank status on the target, but it wouldn't consume it like these other three skills. But yeah, that's not the case. You just get a free power restore every time you cast Wizard's Fire. Is the current implementation, and I don't really foresee that getting changed, at least not in the near future. All right. So that's on a 15-second cooldown. You have access to an on-command flank every 15 seconds with minor call. You don't need to, unlike in blue and yellow, you don't need to have pets present to use these versions of your minor and major pet command. As you can tell here, their calls are just minor call and major call. Major call, you can benefit from having a pet active before doing major call hiring flanks, because your threat gets reduced, as in the aggro on you, the lore master, gets reduced if you cast major call hiring flanks. And so if you have a pet active, what that might cause is the aggro would get switched to your ally, which in that case would be your summoned pet. But in this case, we do have Radhril as an ally NPC, and so major call would be beneficial to us if I need the aggro off me and Radhril is nearby, and so the aggro would get switched to Radhril by a major call hiring flanks. But yeah, you can also do this for flanks if you just really want the flank and minor call was on cooldown. This is also an instant flank, but it's on a 1-minute cooldown is the thing. So yeah, minor call flank is gonna be your friend here in terms of like on command speed boost or heal or bonus damage via lightning charge, stab strike. Alright, before I proceed with the mission, my voice is so tired, man. Let me drink water again. I don't know if you can hear my swallowing. Excuse me. If so. Alright. But yeah, for the rest of this mission, let's try to make use of at least one of the call skills. Yeah, one of the I don't know what to call these, but I guess technically these are still the pet command skills. So yeah, let's try to make use of at least one of these and one of these, and Ents Go To War. Alright, let's do. Also the speed boost. There you go, I finally did it. It, like, for a moment I was concerned that I missed the flank again due to the line of sight not being very easy in this map. Oh man, I didn't do Brutal Frost. I was gonna do Brutal Frost. You know what? There you go. I did the thing. This one's tanky because I didn't dispel the corruption. I probably should have. But I was taking quite a lot of damage already. And so I just wanted to demonstrate that you make use of, and at the same time demonstrate character plus Ents Go To War plus Light of Rising Dawn to animation cancel. Thankfully I did that successfully because I've definitely failed the animation cancelling by casting it first before Ents Go To War reaches success in the induction bar. So yeah, considering I was kinda a little worried about my health going down already. But like in other cases, I'd because considering my skills are off cooldown, I would have just used Sticky Gourd, Staff Sweep, because these are lower cooldowns and the damage they deal are just as good, if not more cost efficient than Ents Go To War. Okay, cool. All right, let's demonstrate that just because I keep praising like Sticky Gourd and whatnot. See, I mean that was a smaller group though because of the division of the terrain here and the separation of the mobs, I suppose. I think the spider was aggroed on Radhril, probably. Oops. No, dang it! I tried to cancel the knowledge of cures, but I should have also queued up a different skill on top of Water Lord. But I tried to queue Water Lord twice to cancel the queue. Oh wait, never mind. This is a low cooldown. 15 seconds? Apparently it's just 15 seconds. I feel like it was longer. Maybe it's longer on yellow, like maybe 20 seconds. I don't know. I feel like it's longer at one point at least, if not in other specs. In the other specs currently. All right, last thing we're gonna go. This should have been the first thing I covered, but I spontaneously thought of featuring Nature's Fury again. Alright. There you go. Cool. I think I demonstrated that. I think I demonstrated that correctly, right? I think I did call to links. I did major call harrying flanks. Aggro. The threat went from me to the links, it seems, and Radhril was despawned because of the terrain, and because she got stuck somewhere and got too far behind. Is why, like, summoned allies and summoned pets as well despawn. It's the distance between you and them is what causes them to despawn if it's gotten too far. Wow, I'd never actually like properly tried a major call harrying flanks to move the threat off of me. I mean, I tried it before, but like that was probably the cleanest demonstration of it that I've experienced, I suppose. Well, alright, so as we're finishing this mission, I'm trying to remember if we've missed anything else that's important in red. I covered virtues briefly earlier, and I probably didn't even need to cover it again because I already covered it in blue. But at the same time, you know, like, people are not gonna watch all of these lore master videos, so maybe it's important to briefly cover the virtues at least, and the subsequent lore master videos. But yeah, I did extensively cover virtues in blue before. I mean, there's not much to cover in blue. I'm not a virtue expert, and so I just went on a longer tangent covering it in blue, I think, is essentially what it was. So yeah, alright. That's what. Cult of the Valar. I also didn't really cover this in... I didn't cover this properly in blue too. I had a... And even when I inserted a separate older clip to that would have featured it, I mistakenly, I unintentionally, or not unintentionally, but like I stupidly, I stupidly cut the clip too short and cut out the part where I cast Call to the Valar. And so like even though that clip still technically had me benefiting in combat from having previously cast Call to the Valar. The actual act of casting Call to the Valar to reset Retribution in that clip, or in that fight, was cut off from the clip that I inserted. But in this case, in Redline, it resets Sticky Gourd. We'd already talked about this earlier. Sticky Gourd, Lightning Storm, Ents Go To War. These are... I mean, Lightning Storm and Ents Go To War are long cooldown skills. 1 minute cooldown. Not that long, but still fairly long. Sticky Gourd is short. So like, resetting Sticky Gourd with Call to the Valor, probably not necessary. You're probably just gonna want to reset Lightning Storm and or Ents Go To War. But like, I don't know, maybe you use these in a row and you want to use them again. Immediately go Call to the Valar and reset them. But yeah, also just to clarify, in my bars, these are fillers because red line doesn't have a lot of skills as well. Blue line as well doesn't have a lot of skills. I put fillers in the bars. I don't even have this equipped. What do I have equipped? Oh, yeah. This I have. I also have this in the bars. The racial skills I put in the bars as fillers, as well as this potion. In yellow line, this would this shift plus 2 slot would be where my Pleasant Breeze skill would go, or yeah, I don't know. I think that was ungrammatical. Sorry. But this slot would be where my Pleasant Breeze go be or go. I didn't need to repeat would, I guess. I don't know. English, or not necessarily English, but complex sentences are not exactly easy to form. Sorry, that was a whole tangent. I keep saying, I keep actually, or I keep pointing out the actual word tangent in these past 2 videos that I've made. Sorry about that. I feel like I'm being repetitive. I don't need to point that out every time. But yeah, these are just fillers if you're wondering what these skills are in more bars. Also the potions. Also just potions. But like the rest of them are all lore master skills. Or at least most of them are redline lore master skills, aside from, you know... Oh wait, it's not... Most of them are just core or base lore master skills. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that these other icons in my bars are fillers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, I guess to add to additional information about summoning pets in Redline, you don't get to control them. Like you don't get to use the the things. I'm tired. You don't get to use the pet. Um, I was gonna say pet commands, but I call these pet commands. The pet bar commands, I guess, just to make the distinction. The pet bar commands, which would be, you know what? Let's switch to yellow, just so that I can point this out. There you go. Let's switch to yellow. Oh my gosh, my favorite. I was just gonna summon the links again, but like I was like, in a split second, I was like, oh wait, my favorite spirit pet. Um, oh yeah, I need to re-enable the bar to uh, companion bar. There you go. Let's save that in this UI slot. Save UI save layout. UI layout save. There you go. That's the command. A5. Um, this is the setting for hiding that and or enabling it. What? Just or, okay. Uh, for disabling or enabling the quick companion quick slot bar, this is the setting. It's under quick slots. That's the tab for it. But you can, if you already have these in your bars, like I do already have what I need, the pet attack command. I already have it in my main bar. I don't need to have this here. Like this is useful to have if you're used to clicking on here instead of here. But like I like just pressing Alt +3 to do to retarget my pet. Like if my pet were somewhere else or were focusing somewhere else. Like maybe melee pets like the lynx, and I want them to move over somewhere closer or whatever. Because the spirit pet is range, it doesn't need to be moved around too much. Which is it's kind of unfortunate though that it stays in its ranged distance. What once it's already targeting something, because you won't be just in case you need it, you wouldn't be able to do beacon of hope to also heal yourself. It would just, because the pet would just be far away like this. If you do beacon of hope on your pet, it's just gonna benefit the pet and any other allies near it, but it's not gonna reach you. So that was just a tangent. But back to the relevance of the pet bar in Redline. You don't have the pet bar in Redline anymore if you've not if you're just now coming back and because it's been a while since U41 was released. But yeah, in Redline, you don't get the pet bar anymore. You don't need to micromanage your pet. Like even and yes, the call to pet skills in red, they summon a pet, but they're not they don't really deal damage. They just deal like 1 point of damage per tick. What they're essentially for is just for the flavor, but they also apply flanks on their targets, on their targets. So like they're not exactly useless because flanks can be beneficial to you. Um, like maybe you need to heal yourself and you don't have your major call and minor call in red available to you. You can maybe you can just maybe rely on the flanks that are getting applied by your temporarily summoned pet directly, and then heal yourself with Wizard's Frost, or do another do another flank interaction with that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hold up, let me loot my stuff before, at least the older stuff, because I don't have a lot of space in my bag before they expire as I end this video. So yeah, at least I guess I should point this out. Your defensive options. Here are your defensive options in Redline, because this is Redline's weakest or weak point. They don't have plenty of defenses. So all right, it's you could also make use of your defensive racial skills, but they have long cooldown, so you're probably not gonna get used to, at least in my case, I'm not used to making use of racial skills for defensive, for emergency use. Alright, these are your defensive options, essentially, in red. But like also brittle frost, or not brittle frost, flash frozen via master of the elements, via a lightning skill and frost skill. If you need to slow enemies and you don't feel like using Wizard's Frost for that, if you want an AoE slow, you could do like Burning Embers or Sticky Gourd plus Staff Sweep, and then you while you back away, because your health is kind of precarious or kind of in danger, or morale technically at the moment, then you could benefit from doing a slow on your opponents, so that you can create space from between you and them. So like yeah, that's why I included Wizard's Frost here, because this is a slow. You could also maybe initiate with Wizard's Frost. This is a long animation though, so not necessarily optimal as an opener skill. But if you want if your opponent is coming from a distance, you want to slow them their progress to you, you could use Wizard's Frost. Knowledge of cures, it cures you. It's 15-second cooldown on red. I should have checked when I switched to yellow earlier. But yeah, in red, 15-second cooldown. This is universal in all lines, and it's pretty much the same, if not entirely the same. 30 meters range if you want to use it on an ally too, or instead of you. Wisdom of the Council, emergency panic button is what this is. Don't double press this. It's an immediate skill. You could theoretically, I'm not sure if it's I don't know. It's a thing. I'm pretty sure it's a thing still, but like I haven't been able to do it, like not even unintentionally. Thankfully, not in the case of Wisdom of the Council, because I would need the heal from this. So yeah, Wisdom of the Council. This is your panic button. It's immediate, which means it can be cast in the middle of casting other skills. So like it animation cancels out other skills. Similar to Light of Rising Dawn, but this isn't a heal. I suppose this is not necessarily, I mean, technically defensive if your opponent is casting. It's in the middle of inducting an offensive skill that would really harm you, or debuff you or whatever, or detriment you. Wait, no. Can you use detriment as a verb? I don't know. But yeah, Light of Rising Dawn, utility skill. May as well put that there. I mean, this is just a debuff skill, not necessarily a debuff, a defensive skill. But I guess you could count this as a defensive option for you, because it does increase your opponent's attack duration. and reduces their critical hit chance. So yeah, this is both a defensive and an offensive debuff skill. Alright, Water Lore, this is your spammable heal over time skill. Um, not the best for emergency heals, but um, it can work still. Like you could go Water Lore. Oh yeah, I forgot to cover Shield of Knowledge and why I took this here uh, on my level 80 Lore Master instead of going Bane Player or whichever. But yeah, Water Lore is a lore skill, which means it will benefit from Shield of Knowledge. And what that means is that when you cast Water Lore, not only do you get the heal over time, you also get the Shield of Knowledge defensive buff to you. So like, if you do have this trait, Water Lore is a relatively acceptable reactive heal, or reactive skill at least. Reactive defensive skill, I guess. But yeah, so that's that. Call to the Valar. You're mostly gonna use this to reset skills, but the induction setback immunity is the defensive component to it. What that means is that your inductions don't get like set back. Excuse me. I don't know if you heard that. But your inductions don't get set back when you get hit, but because what happens, not just for lower masters, but any class that have inducted skills, is that when you get hit while you're in the middle of casting, the progress of the casting gets set back. So what Call to the Valar does, Valar does. I'm trying to intermix the accents. Um, what it does is on top of resetting skills, it gives you induction immunity setback, or induction setback immunity for 10 seconds. But yeah, at the same time, you know, like in Redline, because of the Quickening Flame set bonus trait, your inductions are gonna be fast most of the time, probably. So like you probably don't even need, you probably are not gonna need at all to cast Call to the Valar for the induction setback immunity. Alright, so as repeated multiple times at the beginning of each mission covered in this video, Sign of the Power of Vigilance, stealth protection is a niche benefit, but since U41 plus 10% maximum morale, we're now at U44 by the way, so I know that me saying U41, it kind of implies that it's recent. It's kind of recent, it's only August last year, but it's been months at this point, almost half a year at this point, nearly, maybe not almost, because it's still it just turned May, I suppose. I don't know, maybe almost half a year. Wait, no, actually almost a year at this point, huh? Yeah, my brain didn't do math right. It's almost a year already, since the U41 changes. So wow, oh my word, time flies. I guess I just didn't realize that because my long blue lore master video, I had made the video. Oh shoot. My loot are expiring. Wait. Now you get to see the mess that is my inventory. I also don't have a very expansive inventory yet. I plan to, but not yet. In the far future, probably. Okay. So yikes! And now I need to bring up the defensive options again. I probably don't need to, but yeah, those are your defensive options. I was on the last one too, so that works out. Those are your defensive options in red. So yeah, like I said, self-detection from Sign of Power Vigilance is a niche use. You're mostly gonna want this for the 10% maximum morale, which can be like life. That difference is can be pretty life and death um, levels of important, I suppose. But yeah, it lasts long, so you don't have to. You probably don't need to recast it as often as I did. But like just so that I don't forget, I cast it at the start of every mission. 20-minute duration on the max morale bonus. The self protection bonus though is just 5. Um, yeah, 5 minutes. I was gonna say 5 meters. 5 minutes on the stealth duration. So like you're if you're concerned about stealth thing enemies, that's why that's probably when you want to cast sign of power sign of power vigilance more often. So yeah, uh, and of course back from the break, because Lore Master was historically support class. Um, there still remains a general Lore Master skill, but like this had always been this has always been only usable in combat or out of combat rather. Not sure if that was always the case, like from the very beginning, in the like across the 18 years of LOTRO's existence. But at least for the longest time, this has only been usable out of combat. So yeah, that's a thing. You still have access to this in red. Um, but like that's not. This is a utility skill for you. This is not a defensive option for you. You can't revive yourself. You can't revive an ally mid combat. It's just a utility for out of combat revival situations. Um, and like I said, defensive or not defensive, yeah, defensive racial skills, long cooldown so, but if you need them, you use them. Um, and I don't know how I don't exactly know how hectic raid fights can be. So like maybe um, the red lines, red line lore master's weakness in terms of lacking defense, maybe that comes more into play in group content. So those are your defensive options. Oh yeah, like I said earlier, flanks via these goes. If you need the heal flank, do a flank, and then do a Wizard's Frost heal. There's a pretty sizable heal from Wizard's Frost on flank targets. Um, and yeah, like compared to water lores, heal over time, you can stack water lore thrice on your character. This is more of a proactive heal though. um, some reactive benefit if you do have shield of knowledge like I mentioned earlier. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Power of knowledge is it's still lightning damage go. It does also apply frost vulnerability. It's a channeled skill, which means you gotta stand still. And so yeah, you're mostly just gonna use this for power restoration, as I had said earlier. Clever escape. Oh yeah, it's important. General lore master skill. Probably don't need to cover this. General lore master skill. You can break free from dazes, stuns, roots, fellowship maneuver stuns. I assume monster classes have fellowship maneuver stuns, or at least, or maybe some like just in general, maybe monster players and special enemies uh, have fellowship maneuver type stuns. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't know if I'm remembering correctly. It's mostly for from if not only from monster players. Correct me if I'm wrong. Recover from being knocked down, but not from dread and full immobilize. Yeah, be careful with that. So like maybe you, in some cases you think that you just got rooted, but like apparently it's a full immobilize. I'm not very experienced with identifying full immobilizations. But yeah, dread is essentially fear, a fear effect on you, or not a fear effect on you. Technically, fear is different. Technically, fear it's not something that can get applied to player characters. But I guess the counterpart for that would be the dread effect, which reduces your max morale. So yeah, as it says here, clever escape doesn't dispel or cure you from the max morale reduction from dread effects and whatever other uh, associated effects there are. So yeah, I think I've covered pretty much everything. I forgot to point out that Call to Bears is a defensive option you have in Redline Normaster, and so I'm back here in a Looming Collapse. I'm gonna do a dangerous pull and I'm gonna use a Call to Bear. Oh man, can I do this actually? I'm trying of doing an even more dangerous pull than I normally do. Give me a second. Let's see if I can make this work. Oh my goodness, this is scary right now. Alright. Call to Bears! How many did it? Okay. I also didn't use Lightning Storm in the whole 3-hour video that I did. So there you are. Spread. Oh. Oh man, apparently. Where am I right now? Oh, whoops. Also, Wisdom of the Council, I suppose. There you go. Okay. There's that was minor pet command plus flank. Oh man, okay. I didn't get to properly kill all of them. But that worked out. I was actually really worried there because I don't normally pull everyone in this mission in one go. But I wanted to not superficially feature Call to Bears. As you saw there, I was able to stay alive, partly thanks to Call to Bears. Or not just partly, but probably like significantly thanks to Call to Bears. Because if I didn't lose the aggro on most of those enemies, I would probably die in the corner there. But yeah, and as you saw that I was already kind of panicking. I tried to run up a dead end, like at in a like wrong direction that I thought was the way back up here. But yeah, all right, back to the actual video. I like to think I have, and yeah, let's just end it here. I've already overextended, and my voice is so tired, and I need to eat. What time is it for me? It's 12 a.m. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I gotta end it here. If I missed anything, I don't know, maybe I'll actually spend time and add guide notes like I did in the Blue Lore Master guide video. Like text overlays, additional information as text overlays in the video. We'll see. Hopefully not, but yeah, because I'm busy. I'm busy most days in the week. or at least not necessarily busy, but I'm not home most days of the week, so I can't really spend time editing or like doing extensive editing of videos. So yeah, I hope I don't have to edit this one too much, but yeah. Wait. I forgot that it kept on. Oh yeah, as a Red Lord Master, because you don't have permanent or persistent pets available to you anymore, you can at least have a cosmetic pet and a non-combat Lord Master pet, which you start to get access to at Lowlands via a quest from Radagast the Brown. So yeah, you start with the non-combat hare, as in the rabbit creature hare skill. That's the first one you get, I think. And I only know that because I have another lore master that has it. Oh, but not the other non-combat lore master pets yet. So yeah, if you're missing having some animal or creature companions, you have these cosmetic pet or a cosmetic pet and or a non-combat lore master pet. So yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. See you next time, and until then, oh my gosh, my poor voice tonight. Oh my goodness. Oh no, that means I'm not gonna be able to drink cold water. It's so hot. And it's so hot too. My poor body. Anyway, well yeah, until next time. Farewell. Oops, sorry, my glasses hit the microphone's pop filter. Farewell. Alright, farewell. Bye. Bye. I'm ending the video. Bye.